I'm back. It's been a long time since my last episode. Um, Basically, I've been busy with my wife, who's doing quite well, thank God, and has recovered, is conscious, has her cognitive functions in place, is comprehending things, laughs at my silly jokes, um, displays emotion when there is any kind of situation. But in between when she was a little unwell, um, and in the process of reaching here, one thing I noticed that whenever she had a fever or there was something not right going with her body, the first sign of distress used to be through the change in rate of breathing. Her rate of breathing would change, and subsequently it would also impact her heart rate. Because my job was in the room to sit down and watch the monitor, and I was told about certain values by the doctor that I had to observe, and if any of them went beyond, I was supposed to inform the nurses immediately. So I was closely watching it. But all this led to another question. At the end of the day, we evolved from being animals. I mean, we are called social animals. So at one point, we have been purely animals and animalistic in our behavior. At some point, we as a species became self-aware. There might be degrees of self-awareness in animals, but it's very fleeting and momentary and doesn't last. But we can actually permanently live in a realm of self-awareness. And the one thing that self-awareness gave us, which could be good or bad, is that we became aware of our own demise. We became aware of our death. In animals, when they go into a submissive nature or a submissive pose, it is not because of a fear of death. It is because at that moment, they want to avoid physical pain that might occur because of a fight or injury. So if the equation doesn't work in their favor, they rather become submissive and give up to whichever is the alpha animal at that point. Another thing that the breath, that the fear of death did for us was it became the central kind of fear that translated into all other fears that we have in life. Any kind of fear, if you kind of try to work it down towards a source, will finally find its origin in this basic fear of death that we live with. We deny ourselves a lot of things. We want to permanently look young because that is a way for us to deny that we are going to die. We want to give supplements. It's good to have supplements, it's good to exercise, it's good to keep a healthy body. I'm not saying against that. But a lot of people's motivation is just to do that because they think they're defying death. And that is a surety. It is going to happen at some point or the other. Also, when humans became self-aware and this concept of death came, even Buddha, one of the things that triggered him was seeing somebody dying. So everybody who was thinking went on to a kind of a quest to find or understand or analyze this whole concept. And a lot of the intelligent ones who in the past thought about it realized that it is all related to your breath. Like earlier episode had said that when you stop breathing, you die and your universe dies with you. That's over, kaput, finished. They also realized that because of our cognitive features and the fact that we could experience emotion, animals also experience emotion, but not as intensely and or not as sustained as we might. So the first thing they realize that whenever your emotion shifts, what shifts along with that is your rate of breathing. So if your breathing changes because of emotion, and you are, self-aware, you're cognitive, you comprehend, it can also work vice versa for you. That is, by consciously changing your rate of breathing, you can actually change your emotion. They are interrelated. So, for example, you will notice that if you are very upset or if you are being aggressive, you breathe very fast. Physiologically, also, it is when you breathe very fast, your heart is beating faster, your circulation is good. So, if you need to physically lash out, your body is getting ready to do that. But if that point you can become aware of that fast rate of breathing and become aware, with through practices you can get that moment before everything goes out of your control. All of us have it. If at that time you can realize and consciously start drawing long breath, you will see that over a few seconds, that aggression or that anger that was building into you will slowly start slowing down. And you will come to a level of calmness, and that will work in your favor. So, what we need to do is that in our living, a lot of our actions come out of our emotions. So, at some point, if we can just be a little aware, of our, emotional state and use our breath, we can alter it. We can really alter it. I remember there was something that Rajneesh had once said, that you can't prevent anger. Anger is a state that all of us go into. But remember one thing, when you are angry, there's a lot of energy in your body. Your body, like I said, is getting ready for a lot of eventualities. At that moment, if you can, that moment that I'm describing that all of us have before we actually go to a point of no return, if at that moment, if you can just look at your face in some kind of reflective surface, the look of your face will shock you. And as soon as that happens, you will actually lose the reason, or you will actually lose your whole desire to be angry, because you don't like what you see. And most of us can't see our face, unless we look into a reflection. But don't waste that state, because your body is already into high energy. Instead, go out and try to do good for somebody. Try to use that energy in a constructive way. And it is possible. It is possible for us to do that. I've had incidences where I've had a, kind of a fight with my wife. We scrap about something, and, there's a lot of anger building in, things have been said and you're hurt. And after that, I used to go into the kitchen and cook. I found it was so easy for me to use that energy there. So just now understand your emotion and the relationship of breath to it, and use your breathing, use your ability to control your breath, to control your emotions and your life. So for this episode, I'm signing off. I'll be seeing you shortly.